This review is of Wishing You Wellness for Stephanie Nielsen. First of all, what I wanted to say, the things that I love about your website. You have an absolutely beautiful photo above the fold. So as soon as people arrive at your website, they can see what you're all about. You outline that you're a clinical nutritionist, and this quote again reinforces what it is that you do. Images, as I was looking at the website, they're all very high quality, and the design is clean, and there is consistency in fonts and in color. So that's excellent. What I also love about your website is the ability to book your services online. So I can click and book the service right there and then. You also have SSL certificate, which means Google Chrome. If you view your website in Google Chrome, it marks that your website is secure, which gives people more confidence in your business, basically. Now, if I go to the contact page, you have a number of different ways that people can contact you. And so you've got your phone number, you've got your full address, email address, as well as a map and a form. So that's excellent. And at the top here, you've got links to several social media profiles, and you also have contact details at the bottom of every page. So no matter where I go, I can always find a way to contact you. And again, you've got your social media icon. So that's really well done. A lot of people miss that part of having on their website, having a contact page as well as having their contact details on every other page. And what's also really good is that on your homepage and throughout your website, you have different calls to action. So if I scroll down here, I can click on your blog, and also if I go back to your homepage, I can click on your services. So that's really, really well done. I love the fact that your website is so clean, and the colors are very vibrant. So really good. Now, some suggestions for improvement is on the home page where you've got sign up for newsletter, and I know you have that in several spots. Sign up for my newsletter here and also down here. Let's stay in touch. You will find that most people are not going to sign up for a newsletter anymore just because newsletters have been around for so long, and so the only way to really get people to engage with you and to leave you their email address is to offer them something for free. Now, you can offer a downloadable report, for example. In your case, it could be recipes, something like maybe gluten-free recipes or something a little bit unusual. You could run a mini masterclass, so you could get people to leave you their email address in anticipation of being able to access your masterclass. You could get them to book for a webinar. You can, which you have done to a certain degree, is ask them to follow you on social media. Although one thing you could do is maybe if you have an Instagram, and you do, is have an Instagram feed on your website, because that will add fresh content, and it's usually very colorful. So I would probably consider adding an Instagram feed, and you will find that more people will probably follow you. You could ask people to complete a survey, take a quiz, enter a competition, book a free consult, or offer some sort of a discount in return for an email. So there's quite a few things that you can do to collect email addresses other than asking them to stay in touch or to subscribe for a newsletter. One of the main things that I found was maybe a little bit of an issue is where I click on the services, and I was looking around at all your services, and that is all good, but I completely missed the fact that you've got speaking, that you are available for speaking and events. And so what I was thinking, rather than having just services at the top, perhaps have a tab which says consulting instead of services. So have instead of this, remove the services button altogether and just have a consulting button and a speaking and events button. That way people will be able to see it wherever they go. The other alternative is just to put it as a drop-down menu for both those services. But otherwise, I'm afraid that people will possibly miss this part. The other thing that I wanted to mention is when I go to the individual services, it's nice that it has a pop-up which briefly describes what each service offers. But it's a little bit awkward to get to the Learn More page and one has to scroll. I'm not sure how that translates on the mobile, and sometimes, even though it may be fun and appear a little bit interactive, it's a little bit hard to get to. So I would recommend that you make this font smaller so that people can see the Learn More button without scrolling. Or the other alternative would be to put a Learn More button next to the Book It button so that people can either book it or they can find out more, but it's going to be a little bit easier to see. Next, I wanted to go to the blog. And you haven't got a lot of recipes here. And so I can see that the last time you've posted was in 2016. So that makes your website look outdated. I would encourage you to have a lot more recipes and break them up into different categories. So whether you do it, it's by the diet type, for example, gluten-free recipes, or maybe have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because then people and then have people subscribing to your blog, because that can potentially get you a lot more interaction, and search engines love fresh content. So I would be adding a lot more to the blog. The other alternative you can do with recipes, you can set them as portfolio items if your theme allows that. And so that's a little bit different than a blog, but you can also put them in different categories and tag them, which also helps with search engines. I would probably recommend that you redesign your logo to better represent what you do. The way you've got it now, it's okay. It tells people what you do, but it's not a real logo. It's just your name. And it doesn't mention your business name in there. So there's a little bit of disconnection between your domain name and your logo. So I would either design the logo around your business name and then have your name go along with it, or perhaps use your name as the domain name. And as far as content goes, I would recommend that you include the following pages: frequently asked questions, in which you should address any concerns people may have when they think about hiring you. I would also have terms and conditions, and you can just have that at the bottom of the page, and resources and articles. For credibility, I would also include testimonials, before and after photos of perhaps somebody you have worked with, or case studies. If you have won any awards, if you belong to trade associations, and if you've written any articles, I would include all of those on your website, because all of that goes to your credibility. And finally, I would also let clients know whether the appointments are only available in the clinic, or if you do Skype consults, for example, which means you can then reach people around the country and possibly around the world. So that's just a few tips that I think may help enhance your website, but I think you've done a really good job getting it as far as you have. And so now it's just a matter of making a few small tweaks. Thanks, Stephanie.